I saw this comedy video and I'm like, woo, let's have something interesting and something to laugh about, okay? Today's video is quite interesting. It's a comedy video, and you know, let's have some laugh. Let's have some laughter. I don't know what time you're watching me, but you know what? Let's laugh a bit about, you know. Anyway, today's video is from Comedy Central stand-up. It's titled, "How do 90% of Americans still have jobs?" Like, how? I'm so interested, and I know you'll be interested. Before we get into the video, my name is Ogechi. If this is the first time here, hello. Do want to click on the red subscribe button, like this video, drop a comment on what you think about this video. Let me know the highlights of this comedy series, of this comedy video. And Daniel Tosh is not, I mean, he's someone I'm just seeing his video for the first time. Like, this comedy is going to be my first time watching his comedy videos, and from what I heard, or from what I've seen on YouTube, I can see that he's quite interesting to listen to. So you know what, let's sit back and enjoy this ride. Let's go.
It is great to be here in America. Yeah. The greatest country in the world, if you haven't traveled a lot. Do we have to constantly scream we're number one? It's always the people that live in the most boring parts of this country that scream the loudest. People in Kansas, we're the greatest country in the world. It's like, do you guys have internet there? You ever seen a photo of Fiji? I've never been to Fiji, but I've seen photos. It looks pretty amazing. It's hard to think we're better than that. We're top 10. Maybe if we started screaming that every day, maybe terrorists would stop trying to saw our heads off. We're top 10. And they'd be like, that's fair. It was that number one stuff that was getting old. America's basically turned into one of these factories where we just have a sign up, like, it's been 22 days since our last horrible thing. And it's like, oh, all right, rip it down, we're back at zero again. These things just keep happening, you know, whether it's Ferguson or Baltimore. I can solve racist cops. That's an easy fix. But nobody comes to me for the answers. You want to get rid of that forever? How about this? Only black people should be allowed to be cops. Boom, problem solved. And if any of you have issue with this, it's because you're racist.
Okay.
Well, what about white people? White people can be firefighters. We're more outdoorsy, it makes sense. White people, firefighters, black people, cops. Who wants tickets to the softball game now? Yeah, it's gonna get pretty tense. Might want to put in a mercy rule. And the next time we have one of these tragedies, inevitably we will, and you happen to be so unfortunate enough to know the person that's being accused of the crime, do us all a favor and don't get on TV the next day and be like, I lived next to him for 32 years. I never could have seen this coming. Maybe you should be locked up for 6 months. I find nothing more disrespectful. You never could have seen it coming. I've never met anyone in my entire life that I couldn't wrap my brain around the fact that they are capable of awful things. Literally no one. My mom could blow up a nursery. And if you put me on TV the next day and I was completely honest with myself, I'd be like, I can fucking see it. No, it makes sense. Sometimes when I was a kid, I'd come home from school, she wasn't happy to see me. I think she hates children. Ladies, know that every man you're sitting next to tonight, if you could get into their head and see every thought they have ever had, you would immediately pull out a gun and blow your head off. Because trust me, they're capable of anything. All day long, every day, nothing but twisted, weird, awful shit is just going round and round and round. And what do you do at night? You snuggle up next to them because you're so happy that you're not alone. And I think that says more about you. That notion that your parents raised you on, stand by your man, if you're insane. The second your man gets accused of anything, you immediately distance yourself. Just be like, I don't know what the fuck he's into. and buy clothes in the next town. We'll forgive you. By the way, I do love this country. We're the only place with any diversity. The entire planet is segregated. You realize that when you watch international sports. Like I was trying to watch the World Cup, despite hating it. I get it, soccer's the most popular sport on the planet. That's because half the world can't afford AC. And that's about how long you have to run just to get tired enough to fall asleep in these godforsaken countries.
Oh my gosh.
You ever try to gamble on soccer? What's the over-under? 0.5? How much time's left? It's a secret. I'm out. But we have diversity. Other teams don't. Or if you look at the Olympics, you look at our U.S. gymnastics squad. We have an Asian girl, a white girl, a black girl. Look at the Chinese squad. Any guesses? Did you guess exclusively Chinese bitches? Yeah, that's all that's ever been on that team. That's all that will ever be on that team. And they wonder why they're not getting golds anymore. Well, you better get a Harlem in China. You think snapping together iPads all day is tough? It is. Not as tough as it used to be. Now they have suicide nets around their building so they can jump out, bounce right back. Sorry, boss, just need some fresh air. Back to making America.
Oh my God, Daniel Tosh, I never thought he was this interesting. Like, he is so funny. Oh my gosh, like, okay, the part that actually took me out was when he said white people should be firefighters, Africans, black people should be cops. Like, do you get the joke? Let's continue. This is quite interesting.
To making Americans more stuff, you got it. This is a tough joke to do as a white comedian, but here goes. Because where this country is now, from where we came from, is pretty remarkable. There's nothing more shameful in our country's past than slavery. Okay, that's horrible. But I've grown up in a generation where I've idolized black people my entire life. They are better at everything. So the fact that we pulled off slavery, I've already said it's awful. That's off the table. I'm just saying it's kind of neat. I mean, at any point, they could have been like, you know we can just run away, right? And you will never catch us. And if you do, we will beat the living shit out of you. Right, that's about how well that joke should go over. There's a fine line between appreciating the sarcasm and, ooh, this feels like a rally.
Absolutely.
And you did well. That's a joke I do not do everywhere. That's a joke, if the audience gets a little too excited, I shut it down. You start hearing a couple yee-haws, trouble's a brewing. As soon as yee-haw hits...
Actually, I think that should be where the joke ends, because I mean, if it goes further than that, some people will take it more serious, you know, than he actually intended. So it's supposed to be for fun, just to laugh, something to laugh about. I know that it's a very sensitive conversation and all of that, but it's just to laugh about, and that's why he's saying that, even though he's jokingly saying it, that, you know, that's it, where the joke ends. Okay, before some people start throwing stones and start booing him and all that. But this is quite interesting. Okay, Daniel Tosh is something. Oh my gosh.
hits a certain octave, hate crime, and T minus 10, 9. The unemployment rate in our country is around 6.5%. I'm told that's pretty good. I could care less. I wish a president would have the balls to say what I'm about to. 10% of Americans don't deserve jobs. Good night.
Okay.
Like, that's a number I can get my head around. Of course, there's exceptions to that. That's not who we're talking about. But if you don't think 10% of Americans are lazy pieces of shit, then you have never traveled anywhere. Because the number that blows me away is that over 90% of Americans have jobs. Who the fuck is hiring you morons? Because I wouldn't. The sense of entitlement, everyone thinks they deserve more than they have. No one's content. Young kids, I won't even talk to them anymore because you parents have done such a bang-up job. If I meet one more kid and ask him what he wants to do when he gets older, and he replies, "I want to be famous like you," I'm gonna kick him in his teeth. You're never gonna be famous. Never. You have no chance. I didn't get here because I work hard. I have a gift from God. Everybody gets their 15 minutes of fame, buddy. Excuse me? That's an average. Yeah, that's 0 for you, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 20 years, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Everybody gets 15 minutes. You know Andy Warhol was on drugs when he said that, right? He didn't think he'd be quoted for the rest of eternity, let alone taken seriously as an artist. You ever go into like a cute local cafe and an artist has their work for sale on the walls? Has anybody ever not walked up, looked at the price, and gone, who the fuck do they think they are? Just once, I'd like to walk into somebody's home and be like, wow, that is a beautiful piece. Where did you get it? And they're like, oh, funny story. I was getting a spinach wrap the other day for lunch, and I had $750 burning a hole in my pocket. And I was like, hey guys, unbolt this from your urinal and get it into my living room. You know what the unemployment rate in China is? Neither do I, because I'm American, I'm fucking stupid. It's gotta be low, right? Those people get up at 3 in the morning to practice the violin for 4.5 hours, then they work on math for 12 hours, and whatever's left, they're ninjas. If you think for 1 second we will ever catch up with them, you are out of your mind. Just sit at home and be patient until they take over. And quite frankly, they deserve our country. I go, oh shit, China's here. Do we take off our shoes? How does this work?
Okay. You guys, Daniel Tosh is something quite interesting, right? He's quite interesting. I still strongly believe that when a comedian comes out to do his thing and all of those things, I still believe strongly that there's some tiny bit of truth in what they're making us laugh about. I'm not going to say which particular one or which one he was talking about, but you guys be the judge of that, okay? Quite interesting, very funny. I had a good laugh. It was quite interesting, but I still strongly believe, even when a Nigerian, because I'm from Nigeria, when a Nigerian comedian comes up to make us laugh about certain things, you know, those things could trend, could be a little, there might be a little bit of, tiny bit of truth here and there anyway. But let me know what you guys think about Daniel Tosh. I think he's a good comedian. He's quite interesting to listen to, very funny. It is, you know what's more funny to me? The fact that these comedians don't laugh at their jokes. Like, how? You're making us crack our ribs and you're not even laughing. Like, how? Anyway, please drop your comments. What you think about this video. Drop your likes. Make sure you like this video, okay? Please like this video. It helps with the algorithm, and your comment too helps with the algorithm. It pushes the video out to people who are really interested in it. So please don't keep my video to yourself. Kindly share it, okay? And do not forget to subscribe and turn on the post notification bell. I'll see you in my next episode. Bye bye.